Katherine Black reacts The Heat. Brand new series. And I thought we might have a bit of a feature on it. Two things instantly attracted me to this. One, it's set in Barcelona, and Mark and I were there last year, so it's a little bit nostalgic. And two, the first dessert they had to make was tartatan, and that's Mark's speciality at the moment. He's making one a week, and it's killing me with the calories. But he is the master of tartatan, which is that posh apple pie with caramel sauce included in it and the swirly apple segments on the top. Yeah, nice. So it's a new reality TV series. I love reality TV. I like the psychology of it. I like to see how people react in any given situation. Maybe it's the writer in me, maybe I'm just a nosy cow, who knows. One thing I don't like about this one is it's all kids. They're all 20, 25-year-olds. It would have been nice to have some more mature people in it. They're all experienced. They've all worked in good quality restaurants before, Michelin star restaurants, and you know they've earned the chips, so they're not newbies to cooking. So the program is run by Jean-Christophe, who is the celebrity head chef. And I had no idea who the presenter was. I was supposed to know who it was, but I didn't have a clue. Pretty girl in a red dress. Olivia Atwood. She's the host of the show. So it's a new restaurant opening up on the shores of the harbour. Shore on a harbour? No, on the harbour side in Barcelona. So let me shout some names at you. They'll become more prevalent as we go on. We've got Jayon 22, Marta 20, Akito 23, Kat 21, Tom 20. So every service, somebody's chosen as pot washer and somebody's chosen as head chef. So it's the first one, so nobody's been punished with pot washer yet. But Jean-Christophe asked for, I'm going to call him JC from now on. JC asked for volunteers to be head chef. Akito was the first to put his hand up. Akito is the first head chef. So we've got three front of house team. They're Helena, Seren and Natalia. And I think Helena is the maitre d', or is Seren the maitre d'? One of those two. So they go into the restaurant and they are only given 90 minutes a day for prep. It's not a lot. That goes in a heartbeat. So for the first episode, Kat and Kat and Maya are on starters. Jord and Jayon are on mains. Tom and Marta are on desserts. So Tom instantly comes to the fore. He's they're all good-looking 20-year-olds, and Tom's no exception. He's a lovely, good-looking young lad. But he hasn't got the superstar looks that the others have got. So he relies on his personality more, and he says that. You know, he says, I'm not a hunk like the rest of the boys here. So he relies on his humour, and he is a funny guy, and he's very cocky and he's very confident, and he instantly comes to the fore. However, his first service doesn't go well. He's on desserts making this tartatan, and I'm thinking, oh, Mark could smash that. My Mark could go in there and he could fire out 1 million of those in an hour, not a problem. Poor old Tom, he burns the caramel, and he's the first one to get shouted at by JC. Sets off another batch of caramel, wanders off, flirting with the girls, talking up a storm, being the big I am, and he burns it again. He's in trouble. Bless him, he puts the third lot on and burns that as well. He burns 3 lots of caramel sauce on his first run. That's not good. So he's instantly pegged as being the weakest team member at that point. The girls all fancy George. His name is spelled D-J-O-D-G-E, George, but they pronounce it George. Good looking lad. He's Yugoslavian by heritage, but he's got the biggest northern accent. A right northern accent on him, innit? So yeah, he's lovely and all the girls fancy him. So the doors are opening, 15 minutes till service, and they are nowhere near ready. George is on pasta, and he's the next one in the firing line. He's so busy flirting with all the girls and looking gorgeous George that he forgets to put egg yolk in the pasta. Doesn't go down well. The pasta is a disaster. So the guests all file in. I think this is a paid service. I think the guests are just walking on off the street. I may be wrong. It might be a free meal. It probably is a free meal, but it's never stated that it is. As far as we, the watchers, know, these people are booking the restaurant, coming in and paying for their meals. They wait an hour for the first starters to go out. The tickets for the meals are all over the place. Nobody is keeping track of the tickets as they come in, so they're all jumbled up. It is a fiasco. Hot food starts coming out for the mains when the starters are still being served. People even haven't even had the starters, and the mains are, oh, we've got this, let's bang these mains out. And they're throwing mains out before the people have had the starters. So they're sitting on the pass going cold. Bang, 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 plate, plate, plate. Sitting on the pass going cold. The ravioli is absolutely scrapped. JC says the ravioli is a hell no. Hell no. So the pasta is a disaster. That was my saying. That wasn't said in the show. It just tripped off my tongue. How good am I? Not very good, really. So now everything is held up. They have to make new mains because the mains are all wasted. They start running out of food because they don't overbook. They only book enough for the people. So the pasta's off. They're running out of surf and turf. The guys on desserts, they're doing souffles and tartatan, and the souffles are ready. They're out and they're deflating. The souffles are all going flat. Akito, who is the head chef, doesn't cope. He goes under with the first wave, and he mixes up all the tables. He doesn't know which food's going to which table. First pass was not good, but they got through it. Eventually, most people got fed. I don't think everybody got fed, and they certainly didn't get the desserts, but most people got fed something. So after service, we have a debrief. So they made it through just. JC said he had more complaints during that service: cold food, raw food, wrong orders, everything went wrong. Them not getting what they ordered. JC said he had more complaints during that service than he'd had in his entire career as a chef. George messed up the ravioli. Marta in the debrief. Marta, now she's another one. She's going to come to the fore in later episodes. Marta, JC puts out a thing to everybody. Who was to blame? Who was to blame for it? Got Marta's hands straight up, and she throws George under the bus. And then she throws Akito under the bus and says Akito was a terrible head chef. He couldn't keep anything in order. And she really went to town on them. That instantly marked her as being a bit unlikable. I didn't like her as a watcher, and you could see the looks from the guys standing in line getting her telling off, and she's being the golden girl. Well, I think it was George's fault, and I think it was Akito's fault. She didn't do herself any favours, didn't that girl? Tom burned the caramel 3 times. So JC, after asking who was to blame, he asked a second question. Who was the worst performer and who should be on pot wash tomorrow? And Akito said that Tom should be on pot wash because he burnt the caramel 3 times. And I instantly said, no, Tom shouldn't be on pot wash. Akito was the head of that kitchen. It was up to Akito to keep an eye on pots and make sure. And Tom, watch your caramel. Is your caramel burning? Now, to be fair, who was on with Tom? I think it was Maya. No, it was Marta. It was Marta again. And Marta told Tom half a dozen times to keep an eye on his sauce, and he didn't. So, you know, she did have a point, did our Marta. So I was saying, no, it was Akito's responsibility. He was head chef. He was in charge of making sure things ran smoothly. He had to be the worst performer. And JC agreed with me. JC said, no, Akito is on pot wash tomorrow. And then when they've done the punishments, they do the rewards. Who was the best chef in today's service? Nobody answered. So JC said, well, I'll tell you who was the best. Marta was excellent. So Marta has instantly made herself a little bit of a target. Service 1's complete. After service, after debrief, they all get to go and play. So the chefs all go out for a drink. Marta and Helena are best friends from school. They went to school together. There are 2 boy and 2 girls apartments, but there's no rule about not visiting. So we're already mixing things up there. Tom fancies Maya. We get a new chef at the end of the first episode. Now, these guys have already started bonding. They've done a service, and service is big. You know, it's a sink or swim. So they've already formed a team. They've highlighted the friends. They've highlighted the people they're not so keen on. And they're already quite tight when Alex comes in. And Alex is a looker. He's a young boy. He's a stud. And the girls just swoon on the spot. Maya fancies Alex. Seren and Kat fancy Alex and George. And Helena fancies Jayon. And that's the end of the first episode. I'm liking it. It's fun. I wish there were some more mature chefs in there. They're all a bit kiddie and a bit young and a bit giddy. But we've got some nice dynamics going on, and we've got some nice little potentials for people coming to the fore and people falling behind. Good series. The Heat ITV, ITVX. Give it a go. Come and talk to me about it. Nice chat.